Hey everyone, welcome back to another FPL video. In today's video is Game Week 5 deadline decisions. Ahead of deadline, I'll run you through my benching dilemmas, my captaincy choice, and then go over the fixture ticker from now till Game Week 12, what my transfer plans are in the upcoming game weeks, and who's on my radar and been added to my shortlist. Hopefully that shortlist will help you make a decision on who you should be buying this game week. So intro out the way, let's just get into the video. And as you can see, I've set myself up in a 4-4-2 at the moment. It's not often that I go with a back four over the season, so this is a bit different. But with three of my players getting DEFCON points last game week and that DEFCON points coming to it this season, I do think the defenders are worth looking at and potentially picking each game week. So Agbadu, Senesi and Anderson got DEFCON points last game week, so I do think they could potentially do it again. Fulham was at home against Leeds and they kept a clean sheet, and Agbadu could do the same in game week 5. Then I'm potentially starting Senesi and Anderson over Porro. They've both got a home fixture and they've both had the midweek off while Porro's been away in the Champions League. Then we've got Williams, and I've not been impressed with Nottingham Forest so far this season, but they've got a new manager and away against Arsenal isn't the easiest of fixtures, so conceding 3 goals isn't the worst. And Nottingham Forest have got Burnley and Sunderland in the next 2 game weeks. I'm hoping he keeps a clean sheet in both of the games, and hopefully he gets an attacking return in one of them. I do plan to sell him in game week 7 for an Arsenal defender, so it is his last chance to prove himself. If he keeps 2 clean sheets, he might stay in my side, because maybe I'm wrong with Nottingham Forest and they will actually keep clean sheets. And with Cole Palmer coming off the bench last game and scoring, I do really want him in my side, so it might be using the transfer on him. So let's have a look at my benching decisions and how I've got to this outcome. So I'm planning to start 4 defenders, and the 3 defenders that I'm potentially going to bench is one of these 3. So Porro's away against Brighton, while Anderson's at home against Brentford, and then we've got Senesi at home against Newcastle. The clean sheet odds for the next game, Tottenham have got a 20% chance of keeping a clean sheet, while Bournemouth have got a 26% chance of keeping a clean sheet, and then Fulham have got a 33% chance of keeping a clean sheet, so Fulham have got the best chance of keeping a clean sheet, then it's Bournemouth, and then in last place it's Tottenham. Then we've got the DEFCON possibilities, and Senesi's ahead, and followed closely behind by Anderson, and then in last place again is Porro. For the attacking threat, Porro got 2 goals and 6 assists last season in the Premier League, while Anderson or Senesi didn't get any goals or assists, so Porro is well clear on that on attacking threat. And then we've got the expected goals for the teams that they're facing. So Brighton are expected to get 1.61 goals, Newcastle are expected to get 1.35, and then Brentford are expected to get 1.10. So then it's Anderson that's ahead again, then Senesi, then Porro in 3rd place again. And then I have to factor in that Porro played in the Champions League last night, while the other 2 players haven't got a midweek fixture, so they'll be more rested for the weekend. So when I'm ranking them and picking which one I want to start and which one I actually want to bench, I think I've gone with Anderson as number 1 choice, and then I've gone Senesi second, and I think I'll be benching Porro. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm getting this right or wrong. I know Tottenham are a lot better defensively this season. They kept a clean sheet against Villarreal on Tuesday, so they could easily get a clean sheet. So let me know in the comment section if you think I'm getting it wrong, and I might change my mind. So now we're down to the 3 players that I'm actually going to bench, and I'm just deciding on the order of the bench. So they've all got midweek fixtures. Tottenham played last night and won. Chelsea play away against Bayern Munich tonight, and Man City are at home against Napoli on Thursday. Tottenham kick off at 3 o'clock on Saturday. Chelsea are away against Manchester United at the 5:30 kick-off on Saturday, and Arsenal at 4:30 kick-off on Sunday. So I think Porro gets the extra day compared to the other 2. Then I thought about which ones are actually going to start, so I do think Porro will start, so I've gone with a yes. I do think it's very likely that Rinder starts, but there is a possibility that Foden, after him scoring against Manchester United, that he starts and maybe they rest him. We do know about Pep Roulette, and this could happen this game week. And then we've got Mark Guéhi. I don't think he'll start. I think it was João Pedro unless he gets injured. And even then, I think it'll be Pedro Neto that goes up front instead of Guéhi. And then we've got the attacking threat, and as I said in the last section, Porro's got 2 goals and 6 assists last season in the Premier League. Rinder's got himself 10 goals and 5 assists in Serie A last season. I know the Premier League is different, but that is showing that he has got an eye for goal. Then we've got Mark Guéhi, who got no goals and no assists in the Premier League last season. I will mention he didn't get many minutes, so it is a bit harsh on him to think that he won't score at all. But I think the likeliness of him scoring is probably late on in a game, and that depends if Maresca's actually going to pick him to come into the field. Then we've got the expected goals for these sides. So Tottenham are expected to get 1.40 goals. Man City are expected to get 1.17 goals away against Arsenal, and Chelsea are expected to get 1.61 goals. So Guéhi is ahead, but I don't think he'll start, so he's only going to get 10 minutes max, I think. So it's out of Porro and Rinders, which one I pick as sub number 1 and number 2. I'm 50-50 on which one I should pick as sub number 1 on my bench. But the thing that swayed me to pick Rinders as sub number 1 is I'm picking a back 4. So maybe if somebody doesn't start, Rinders comes in and I play a bit more attacking. And I think I'd rather go for the attacking outlet than Porro's clean sheet odds, because Brighton keeps scoring in the Premier League, so I don't know if Tottenham are going to keep a clean sheet. And because they've played midweek, I don't know if they're going to be concentrating all the way through the game and they won't make one mistake and concede. So I think I'd rather go with Rinders and hope he gets an attack in return. And then next we've got the captaincy rankings. We've got Salah ahead, who is at home against Everton. If Aston Villa started off the season like I thought they would do, then I probably would be thinking about potentially captaining Watkins this game week away against Sunderland. But the way Aston Villa have started the season, I'm not that confident that they're going to score goals. So I do think I'll go safe and go with Salah. The third option is João Pedro away against Manchester United, which isn't an easy fixture. But João Pedro has started off the season really well, and with Cole Palmer back fit, them two could link up and he could score a few goals. As I've mentioned earlier in the video, with some players playing midweek, I thought I'd mention it again. So I've got Sanchez, Salah, Pedro, Rinders, Porro and Gui that are all playing in the Champions League this week. Pedro Porro played last night and kept a clean sheet in a 1-0 win against Villarreal. Chelsea play away against Bayern Munich tonight. Salah's at home against Atletico Madrid tonight. And Rinders at home against Napoli on Thursday. Rodgers and Watkins came on for the last 27 minutes in the Carabao Cup last night, and they got knocked out on penalties against Brentford. Aston Villa did score a goal and Watkins scored his penalty in the penalty shootout. So hopefully that is a bit of confidence that they will score in the next game. And then lastly we've got Williams. Nottingham Forest are away against Swansea tonight in the Carabao Cup. So my recommendation is to wait until all these midweek fixtures have been played and see if any of these players pick up an injury. And also think about the players that you could be buying. If they've got a midweek fixture, maybe hold off. The players that haven't got a midweek fixture, they could also pick up an injury in training, so don't write off that they're going to be always fit. So basically my recommendation is to hold off on transfers. So with 2.5 million in the bank, here's my updated exit rankings. Gui and Salah have gone into my sell, but I won't be selling them until game week 6. And this is because of the idea that I'm going to roll my transfer in game week 5. We'll see if I get any injuries from now till deadline, and that could result in me changing my mind and my plans. But as of right now, I do plan to sell both of them. So here's the fixture ticker from game week 5 to 12, and I'll put them in order of what I think is the best fixtures to the west. And then on the right hand side of the fixture ticker, I've put if you should be buying them or not. So I've got Nottingham Forest and I may be. They've got Burnley and Sunderland in the next two. So if you are looking for a player, there could potentially be somebody that you buy from. But I'll probably stay clear because there's probably better sides to be looking at. That's the same with Aston Villa. The form's not been good, but the fixtures are. So I can't recommend buying them, but I can't recommend not doing it. Because Aston Villa could start doing well and the fixtures that they've got, they could easily do that. Then the other team with a maybe is Arsenal. They've got Manchester City at home this game week, and then they've got Newcastle in game week 6. So them two are not the easiest of fixtures, but I think after that, the fixtures are really good. So if you are looking to get some players in game week 5 or 6, maybe you go early and get these players, because a lot of managers will be buying them in game week 7s and the price will go up. So maybe you get them and get the price rises on them. And they could also still do well in them games. So the plan is to sell Salah in game week 6. He's got Everton this game week, so I don't want to sell him this game week, but in game week 6 I probably will sell him. They've got Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Man United, Brentford, Aston Villa, City and then Nottingham Forest in the next 7 games. And then I want to sell Gui because he's not starting and he's using one of my Chelsea slots. So the plan is to sell Gui and upgrade him all the way up to Haaland. And then I'll buy a midfielder to replace Salah. I'll have about 5.9 million, so I could get Paqueta at the moment. But if he goes up 0.1 million, I might not be able to afford him because I do want to swap Williams for Gabriel in game week 7, and I want to save that money for that. So here's my shortlist, and if I was buying a goalkeeper, it would be Raya that I'd be buying. I've got Vicario second on my shortlist, but I don't think I'll be selling Sanchez. And if I didn't have Sanchez, he'd probably be ahead of him. Then we've got Gabriel, that's the number 1 pick in defenders from my shortlist. I got Senesi last game week, and he's not on this shortlist because he's in my side. But if I was looking for a defender and I couldn't afford Gabriel, Senesi would be the next one that I would pick. Then in the midfielder options, if I was buying a midfielder, it would be Palmer that I'd be buying. But if I was looking for a midfielder and I couldn't afford Palmer, Semenyo would be second on my shortlist. Then we've got Haaland and Gyökeres and they're playing each other, so them two will be the ones that I'd be buying if I was going for a forward this game week. I will be probably buying Haaland in game week 6, and I'll be looking to get Gyökeres in the future weeks. Again, because he's in my team, I've not put him on my shortlist. But if I was looking for a striker, I'd be going and getting João Pedro if I couldn't afford Haaland. Liam Delap's out for a couple of months, so João Pedro's minutes are going to be guaranteed. I think he only came off at the weekend because we've got Bayern Munich and Man United away this week. But other than that, I think he'll start all the time and I think he'll play most of the games. So with all that in mind, this is how my side's potentially looking for game week 5. As I said, I'll be rolling my transfer if I don't get an injury and then making 2 transfers in game week 6. And then I've got a 51% chance that it'll be Rinders, there'll be some number 1 on my bench and then Porro number 2. But I could be swayed before deadline which one I actually pick. Let me know in the comment section what you would do with my side. Would you make a transfer? Would you change the captain? Would you change the bench? Would you change the starting 11? Would you change the bench order? Please let me know because your recommendation could give me food for thought and I could change my plans. Let me know in the comment section your deadline decisions and I'll try and help you out. I'm so close to getting 250 subscribers, so if you are watching this, hit subscribe and help me get over that mark. My aim is to get 20 likes on this video, so please hit the like button as well, it'll help the channel out massively. I'll be releasing a team selection video on Friday when I've seen what happens in the midweek fixtures, and hopefully I haven't got any injuries that made me change my plans. Anyway, that's it for this video, signing off, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.